Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The crypto market is on fire. We hit a high on Bitcoin all the way up at $119,000 per coin. Marginally lower, but who cares about a couple $100 when you're talking about an asset that is appreciating at double-digit percents in the span of a week. Yes, the entire market is breaking out, and today we're going to talk about an optimal crypto portfolio to make sure that you don't fumble this. My opinion, of course, but honestly, I think the writing is on the wall for what is going on right now. Hopefully you guys are amped up. It is Friday, the market is on fire, and multiple prophecies that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks are coming true. Yes, Bitcoin broke out, obviously. Yes, it came immediately after July 9th, which is what we've been talking about for a couple months now. Yes, it happened to line up perfectly with when the full moon came in. Yes, all of these things are coming true, and it is glorious because simultaneously as Bitcoin is breaking out to these crazy all-time highs, we're seeing Bitcoin dominance fall, meaning our altcoins are ripping faster than Bitcoin, something that we have been waiting for the last several years. Good morning, Zaj. Good morning, Beagle. Welcome into the live stream. We're going to talk about a lot of cool things today. I hope you guys are amped up and ready to go. I have been awake for hours at this point just staring at the chart because it's hard to sleep when things are going crazy. We're going up. When Amanda come back? Close. If she was here today, she might be on the live stream, so we're getting close here. But I think we have a long ways to go before any of those signals start flashing, before your cousins start calling you up and being like, hey, are you still into that whole Bitcoin thing? Should I be buying right now? Before that kind of stuff happens. Once that happens, we can get out. But for the time being, it is game on, ladies and gentlemen. Well, gentlemen. I am under the belief here that we will be going up to test the top end of this channel. Now, we're going to have a little bit of pullbacks. We're going to have some rockiness on the way there. However, this massive explosion that came at the beginning of the year, or since April Fool's Day, basically, that brought Bitcoin up to a marginal all-time high, and then we consolidated for 2 months, that was to reset the RSI to get us ready for this move that's coming right now. And so this move, I believe, will start to slow down once we're in the 120s. We'll go through a period, potentially 2 or 3 weeks, where we're kind of just chopping around in the 120s, and then we'll continue the rally upwards into the $150,000 to $160,000 area for Bitcoin. The longer it takes, the higher we can go. Remember that. The longer it takes, the higher we can go. I'm under the belief that we will see Bitcoin smash through and do a slam dunk here on the basketball hoop that I have. So it looks a little bit egregious right now because we're so far away from it, but I believe we'll see something like this take place where we just kind of go up, consolidate for a little bit, straight up again, right? Up, and then slam dunk into the basketball hoop. And then I have no idea what happens after that. But that's what my take on Bitcoin is. Yes, enjoy the drawings. We've been on a roll here lately. I've removed all the circles because I don't like staring at the cloudiness of the chart, but we've been hitting every single one of the circles that we've been drawing on the crypto charts. If we go look at the total crypto market cap, we can actually see that we are in the other circle. We kind of are getting rejected marginally, but I don't think that's going to last at all. We're testing the prior all-time high for the total crypto market cap. So I think this is going to break out with us here as Bitcoin kind of drags us up. But ultimately, I think that we're going to smash through this, and we just entered into the circle that we drew many months ago. So this is beautiful. Patrick called the pump. Now it's a little bit, I want to match every good call with a bad call. I've been calling the pump for the last 3 years. So honestly, I remain mega bullish, except for times when it is so abundantly obvious that we're about to go down that we're already kind of going down, right? When you break below something like this, it's like, yeah, we're probably going to go down for a little bit. But when you start seeing consolidation at the all-time highs, you know we're about to break out, right? So hopefully you guys are ready. Now, one chart that everyone should be paying close attention to here is the others market cap, because this is where most of our money is in. It's not in Bitcoin. Yes, some of you guys are in Bitcoin, but I know that most of you guys are heavily allocated to altcoins. So analyzing the total crypto market cap minus the top 10 coins, because we're in a bunch of these small micro caps, you'll get a better representation of what's going on. Right now, it is the mega caps time to rally. All of those people, everyone who's been positioned in those coins are making a lot of money right now, and a lot of our micro caps are getting pulled up with them, but it's not micro cap season right now. That doesn't come until we see the slowdown. So once Bitcoin's entered into that $120,000 to $130,000 area and we get 2 weeks of slowdown, that's when I believe we will see the others market cap skyrocket up into the circle that we drew here a couple months ago. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but it will be well worth it. We'll enter up into this $420 billion area for the others market cap, where we'll probably hit some congestion, hopefully up above that threshold so that we can find consolidation above the prior all-time highs on the others market cap. Things are looking really good though, guys. Things are looking really, really good. If we go over to the DeSci market cap, you'll see that we are up 14% on the day. That is a $573 million market cap. Now we have several X's to go from here in order to actually hit some of the milestones that we've been talking about. But the volume spike that we saw a couple days ago on DeSci is looking like nothing compared to the volume that it's going through right now. So hopefully you guys have been positioned well and didn't get scared out of any of your alt bags. If you did, I'm sorry, but a lot of them are still not actually moving to the same capacity that they will be moving at shortly. That minus Pythia, for some reason, Pythia is just going absolutely bonkers. But we're seeing some of the initial signs of what coins are gonna do the best. And I want to put aside a lot of stuff and a lot of preconceived notions, and I want to just talk objectively about the altcoins that I think are going to do the best in this environment. And this is for DeSci specifically because we're in DeSci on this channel. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. So a lot of my bias is weighted towards DeSci, but I am mature enough to understand that my bias is irrelevant to the market conditions and what the market wants. You guys know my overall thesis on DeSci is that we will pump the hardest on DeSci when the rest of the crypto market is cooling off, when we're done with the pump for those coins, right? So I want to look at specific altcoin chart patterns today on this live stream and go over my thoughts and what to pay attention to allocate towards if you have not already. I know most of us are probably balls deep in it at this point, so understanding that you probably don't have much capital, but if you want to rotate around for some of them, you want to reward kind of the winners in this environment just a little bit. That doesn't mean sell out of everything that's not yet pumped, because you'll probably miss the pump because things pump always. Like, you're going to get rotation of liquidity into almost anything, but not everything will pump as hard as what we're going to go over on today's live stream. So take it with a grain of salt. Of course, it's just my opinion, that goes without saying, but we've been through this rodeo now 4 times in this cycle, and we've been through the rodeo in prior cycles multiple times. So yes, baby, let's go. You guys are all here and active. So let's go through the introductions and then we'll start looking at some of the charts, and I'll show you guys the pattern on what to pay attention to. It's the same exact pattern that played out in the stock market. Okay, so this is big tickets here. This is tickets to the gun show when it comes to making some money in the altcoin markets. Good morning. Good morning, C90. Good morning, Beagle. Good morning, Zaj. Good morning, Solus. Good morning, Stare. Good morning, SG. Good morning, MK. Good morning, David Curry. Let's go, baby. Things are exciting. Patrick is secretly Satoshi. Haha, you think I'd be live right now if I was Satoshi? I am so hyped for DeSci. We're going to take over the market in the coming years, and it's going to be amazing. Best thing to do is dedicate every fiber of our being to decentralized science. Let's go, Solus. Axon did a good pump. Yes, sir. Yes, it did. Let's take a look. I just reposted somebody talking about decentralized science. Ooh, yeah, vibe. Let's go. I just reposted someone talking about decentralized science because I think it is important to look that some of the people in the market are coming back to it. I'm sweating a little bit here today because I am amped up, ready to go. But Crypto Dios here. I don't follow him. He's got 120,000 followers. Ah, I did follow him. He just posted the top DeSci coins via market cap. That's not the one that I wanted to show you guys though. So let's go through and look. I just saw somebody posting about it. It was the top movers in the DeSci landscape, and it was someone else talking about decentralized science who is not traditionally in the market, which is how I know we're getting some of that attention wave. You know, I took a stimulant this morning, guys. Side note. Okay, what the fuck? I took a stimulant this morning, and it's interesting to me because I've been trying to get off of the stimulants because I just want to run au natural, but it's so fascinating to me hearing myself talk when I'm on the stimulants, because I prep what I want to talk about for the live stream, but when I hit live, I just freeball it and I just go crazy and talk about whatever my brain is thinking in that exact moment. And the ability to stream together words in a sentence, I know it's something that we all just take for granted. It's so fascinating to me because it's like, what the fuck am I even saying? I'm just letting my brain rip. Yes, let's go to this. We'll come back to this. Duplicate. All right, whatever. We're not gonna find it. So let's go ahead and just look at the top movers according to CoinGecko. So ignoring Solve here because that choppiness is not something that I'm super keen on partaking in. But if you guys want to, feel free to. If we look at the top movers in decentralized science right now, you'll actually see that yes, no error is leading the charge up 80%. What is yes, no error? An AI agent. Isaac up 40%. What is Isaac? An AI agent. Preprints up 30%. Microcap, yes, it's a $425,000 market cap. It's up 50% in the last week. It's really starting to move. Research Coin up 21.7%. One of the big dog blue chips in the space. Absolutely skyrocketing right now. It is fast tracking back to $1 in my honest opinion. You keep going a little bit, you see Bioprotocol up 30% on the week. These are big numbers, guys. These are big numbers. Everything is moving in this current environment, and you guys should be happy with it. So you are on 2x speed. You're damn right I am. Sponsored today's live stream, water. Clean, natural H2O. Now that the market's ripping, I'm probably gonna buy a reverse osmosis water filtration system so that I can drink without the microplastics. I highly recommend everyone to do that. What I do not recommend is what Solus is saying here, that he took out a loan from his bank to buy DeSci. Some of you may say it's reckless. I know it's coming. Now, if you're willing to take that risk, I technically have a loan from the government to be in decentralized science right now because I have roughly 30 grand in student loans that I still just continue to make the minimum payments on because the interest rate's lower than what I foresee making in this bull run. But if you kind of extrapolate out for a minute, you'll see that I've taken out a loan from the government, which was to go to college. I finished college, got enough money to pay off the loan, but I keep it invested in the crypto markets so that I can outpace the returns. Basically, I've got a loan from the government to be invested in the markets. A little bit crazy, I understand. I'll end up paying it off eventually, but whatever, dude. Whatever. Don't judge me here. This is my show. Oh, God. Things are looking good, guys. Things are looking real good. Luck didn't get us here. It was actually mental disorder, but hey, I'm not complaining. You're damn right, Stare. You are absolutely right. If we go through and look, I'm going to show you guys the pattern that I say to pay attention to for the strongest of altcoins, what your portfolio should ideally be made of in this environment, okay? I'm going to use Bill as an example here. You guys know my bias towards Bill. I've been working on a front-facing platform for you guys to be able to use the tools that Bill has more readily for everyone, and that will launch fairly soon. But right now, we're looking at the chart, okay? This is a picture perfect setup for what I think you guys should be looking for in this market environment. What I'm talking about is a pop, drop, and lock it, okay? But this lock phase needs to have a very specific setup in order to know what the strength is, where people are allocating funds to, and what to pay attention to. So a lot of our projects had that initial crazy run up and then a large scale sell off. And then back in April, May, we saw a big push in a lot of these altcoins, right? And then they bled for a while, and a lot of them came down and formed a double bottom. Now, you want to pay close attention because there's 3 different types of chart setups here that I think are going to perform well. Well, 2 are going to perform well, 1 is going to perform aight, all right? The one that's going to perform the best is the Bill setup here, okay? It's where you had the initial bottom, you had the pop with everything, and the bleed, which did not bleed back down to the bottom, okay? You're looking for charts here that have a very defined uptrend. Even if it's not super strong, it did not have this last little drop in June touch the prior lows, okay? So just like this, and there's several charts that look like this. You go look at Bill, you go look at Research Coin, okay? You can go across the market and see a lot of charts that look like that, where they had the pop and it bled a little bit, but it did not come back down to the prior lows. Now it's popping again, and it's getting a lot of good momentum here. You go look at, I know it's a silly one, but you go look at Pengu, right? Pengu is okay, not that one. Pengu is a meme coin, yes, but it is a strong meme coin. It is arguably the best meme coin to be in this market because of the social presence and the brand awareness. This chart is beautiful, and it's leading the way up because everyone's going risk on right now. You'll see what I'm talking about exactly. It had a low, and then it had a higher low, right? This is basic trading material here. This is not anything that's new to you guys. You go look at other coins that have a different chart pattern, but similarly strong. One that comes to mind is Bio, okay? Bio is performing really nice right now, but if you look at it, I'm gonna go ahead and delete some of these lines because I don't really care for them in this exact moment. But if you go look at Bio, it had that pop, right? It had a strong pop where it went from 4 cents all the way up to 10 cents. And then it had a drop back down to form a double bottom. This is still a strong chart setup, and it is going to move. It's probably just going to lag some of the other ones for the time being, but this is a strong chart pattern nonetheless, right? It did not necessarily fall lower, meaning there were people who wanted to scoop up some Bio despite the poor looking chart in this exact moment. You guys know my thought process on Bio is that we're going to be reclaiming all-time highs. So don't worry about it, but oh shit, Steve the Canadian came in and said, panic, panic, emergency, right? You go look at it, okay? And it's performing pretty decently. It didn't bleed as bad as some of the other ones that are dead projects. And they're not dead as in they're never gonna come back, but they're not going to be the projects that people put their money into initially. They'll be the laggards. They'll be the ones that slowly climb up, and then once everyone's making a bunch of money, and the cycle is coming close to an end, they rotate into the laggards in order to try and squeeze out the last couple rounds of gains, right? And so I hate to say it, but 0x DNX. I love Dynex. You guys know I love Dynex, but Dynex is one of those ones that did not have as much support. It looks a lot like Bio though, where it kind of had that pop and fell back down to the same spot, and it's not yet popping, okay? This one's gonna be one of the laggards. It will slowly climb up, and then after people have a bunch of money, it will start the run, and it will put in some good highs. But in this stage of the market, you wanna have your portfolio full of things that are already running, and then you can rotate into some of the laggards. The laggards are going to be the microcap undiscovered plays. And so, yes, a big chunk of my portfolio is in the BioIPT tokens. And a lot of these BioIPT tokens do not have the sexiest of charts, but these are going to pop after some of the others have made their runs. Ovaria, not the best chart pattern here, but it will end up recovering. It will end up coming into new highs. It's just right now in this stage, you want to have a good chunk of your funds in projects that are not putting in those double bottoms, right? You see how quickly Tau just came back to life? And it's got a very similar chart pattern. Do you guys get what I'm saying? You go look at BID. BID is better than almost anything out there, and it's going through a bit of a pullback right now, right? BID is a gorgeous chart. It didn't even have a bit of any kind of a pullback compared to the other charts out there. So Creator BID is one of those that is holding up super strong. And right now, people have not rotated into it yet, but they will. Once they come look at this chart and see how strong it is, V2 for their launchpad is coming out very, very shortly. I saw Phil, the CEO, say it was coming out today potentially, so keep an eye out there. Dynex will run, next bull run, watch. I believe it. Too early to the quantum stuff right now. A lot of people are incredibly bearish on quantum, and I think it's ridiculously stupid. I think it's just people not understanding what actually is going on with quantum. Quantum makes artificial intelligence more efficient. When we can get a system in place where you can build artificial intelligence on top of quantum computing networks, you get a more efficient artificial intelligence. It is what's going to unlock the next wave of productivity for AI, because right now you go look, and I don't want to get too deep into this. You guys know how I feel. I've just seen a ton of people kind of be bearish on quantum and start shorting it. And while I do think you might end up making money shorting quantum computing because we still have a bit of fleshing out of the details, I think it'd be like shorting OpenAI back in 2021, right? Where it's like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit overzealous right now, but ultimately it's gonna change a lot of the industries that we see day to day. And right now you see it going absolutely nuts. But you go look at it, right? And again, I'm not gonna go off too deep in a tangent for quantum, but, and let's pull up Dynex for this one. When you're doing normal searches, let's say you have to go find, let's say you have a password that you're trying to hack, okay? It's the easiest to understand. And the password is written in the Library of Alexandria, right? You guys all know that library. It's got every single possible parable, everything, every single combination of words and letters that you could possibly think of is written in the Library of Alexandria. So everything, your password to your computer, your password to your bank statements, all of it is written in the Library of Alexandria because it is an infinitely large library. And if you were to try and go through that library with a regular computer, you're gonna open up page 1, you're gonna open it and you're gonna read through every single line. Then you're gonna flip it and read through every single line. And you can open up to a random page in the library, open up a random book, random page, and read through it and try and find that password. But it's gonna take you an eternity to find things. With quantum computing, you simultaneously pull all of the books out of the shelves, open all of the pages, and like echolocate basically just a little area of the library where it's more likely to have the password or whatever it is that you're looking for in that section. And then you go through with traditional computing and you look through that hyper specific area for the answer, and it cuts down the processing time by orders of magnitude, like 10 to the 80th orders of magnitude, like orders of magnitude more than the atoms in the observable universe type orders of magnitude. It gets simplified by. We just need to flesh out all of the details to make it super efficient, and it costs less energy, and it's all these great things. So to think that it's not got a future is ludicrous. And when you go look at some of the stuff that's been consistently coming from Dynex, you see that Dynex is a leader in the industry. So whether or not the chart is going up or down is irrelevant to me, understanding the long-term potential for things like this, right? The short-term pain is worth the glory. Dynex Core V2 is live, unlocking unprecedented quantum circuit computation in real-world scale. What does it mean for Dynex? More utility, more demand, more real-world adoption. Let's go. Redefining quantum circuit computation. While most quantum platforms are still limited to executing small-scale gate circuits, often insufficient for solving real-world problems, Dynex now sets a new industry benchmark in performance, scalability, and practical utility. We're proud to announce the official rollout of Dynex Core V2, now available to all users. This new core has been rigorously stress tested over the past several months and represents the culmination of our research and scientific work, a direct technological milestone in the path towards our proprietary Apollo chip. Remember that room temperature quantum chip with 1,000 qubits, 10 times the qubits of some of the leading room temperature chips. Dynex Core V2 delivers unprecedented computational power, enabling the execution of complex quantum gate circuits at sizes and speeds previously thought unattainable. It outperforms all current industry platforms and our own previous versions by orders of magnitude. Dynex successfully computes an n-bit quantum adder circuit with 1,222 qubits in just over 30 seconds. Holy flip. A level of performance never before seen in the quantum space. With Core V2, Dynex continues to lead the quantum computing revolution with real-world scalable solutions. Holy shit, guys. It's nuts. Absolutely nutty, these claims. Pat, have you stopped staking Dynex at this point? No. I'm staking all of it. Every single Dynex coin that I have is staked. And I won't be touching that. I'm not going to even entertain the idea of parting with my Dynex until it's above $10. I'm not entertaining the idea of parting with this coin until it's above $10. So take it with a grain of salt, do whatever you want. It doesn't really bother me too much. Like the real world potential for this is not something that we see anything else in crypto. To have something like this sitting at a $2.7 million market cap, understanding that its peers are 3 to 4 billion and that it's outperforming a lot of these peers, it's not something that I ever plan on touching until it gets to those more accurately representative market caps. But I understand I can sit on this soapbox and say that all I want. Ultimately, the chart looks miserable, and so most people in crypto aren't going to touch it until it can start putting in some new highs, right? Now, that's just because I shit on the chart for a little bit and said that right now it's not something that I think most people are going to be interested in touching. And I understand that, so I had to defend it a little bit to understand why I'm still hanging on to mine with hard conviction here. But let's get back into some more of the coins that are going to be performing really, really well here. You go look at things like HairDAO. HairDAO, I'm sure, I haven't looked at the chart in a minute, but I'm sure this chart is looking very nice. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, guys. This chart is looking primed to get back up to the $140 area, which is $100 extra per coin. You go look at Grow. I think Grow's chart has been looking pretty good. Oh, that's the 1 minute. I was like, holy fuck. Grow. This is Grow on Solana, so it's not the complete chart here. It doesn't look as good as I thought, but it is decent. Decent indeed. This is just the story of a lot of DeSci coins. They kind of look like oscillators to the grand scheme of most coins out there, but too much at once. What's good? Welcome into the live stream. What's good, Don? Bought some more Dynex last night, but seriously considering selling everything and full porting it into it. Didn't have the balls yet. Yeah, that would be a very high risk, potentially very high reward type play. Okay. Now, I have some coins here that I would like to talk about that are not DeSci, but I think have beautiful potential returns. Proto KOL. Up first is Proto KOL, okay? This is a $2.3 million market cap coin in the same realm as Cookies.fun and in the same realm of Kaito. It is 1/100th of the price of Kaito, potentially even less, 1/200th of the price of Kaito, and yet I see them making partnerships very consistently in the space. I think Proto KOL is going to have a monster rally that takes them much past the previous all-time high. They've been consistently building. I have notifications on for them to see how much they've been able to do, and they are consistently making partnerships and expanding. They have API keys for people to be able to use this kind of information in on their own apps. This is a very strong contender for something that I think will outperform, that is not DeSci related, but still in a monster niche. You go look at another one, Cookie, same field. I think it's going to have very good upside as well. Now the market cap is much, much higher, but look at this chart. I think this one's going to have some very aggressive upside as well. Potential for a 10x without a doubt in my mind. Up to $1 billion market cap, would not be surprised. You guys know where I stand on bid, so I'll just pull it up for half a second so that you guys can see the chart and see the potential here. I think bid is going to be multiple dollars, and AIXBT, the AI agent on X, believes in it as well. He agrees with the thesis completely. You go look at, that's funny, Pengu's dad. You go look at a lot of the projects out there, I think they're going to be doing really, really good. One that I've seen a lot of that I don't have any is Peak. Apparently they're doing some AI robotics stuff. I believe that's the correct one. $87 million market cap. Go look at the max. They have a long way to get back up to where they were previously. Machine economy, yeah. So if you think stuff like it's a little bit far out, it's kind of like quantum computing, but I think it's easier to digest for people. But machine robotics is also going to be changing the landscape of the entire global economy. And so getting in on stuff like this while they're still low, I think is really good. Now, it goes against kind of that chart pattern that I was showing you guys before. So potentially wait a little bit and rotate some profits into this one for a lagging pump, but do everything you want with a grain of salt. Still holding Dynex. Anything new? Have you seen Kita? That coin's Chad W Chad Dev. I've not seen Kita. $364 million market cap. This chart looks beautiful. It is a very new coin. Chart looks beautiful. It's already really, really large, but it doesn't mean that it can't get really, really larger from here. So maybe. The thesis here on why you'd pay attention to some of those chart patterns is coming from the stock market, right? When the stock market came out of this bear market that it went into, and make no mistake, that was a little mini bear market. It fell by 20%. So by every standard measuring tool you have out there, the NASDAQ entered into a bear market and then flipped really quick and went back into a bull market. And if you go look at some of the best performing stocks out of that, it is things like Palantir, which actually ended up coming down and bottoming a good chunk before the rest of the market did, and then rallied like crazy out of that bottom. You go look at things like Hood. You pay attention to some of the strongest movers. They were already rallying before the rest of the stock market started rallying, and now they're putting in triple digits. Robinhood, a triple digit stock. Very crazy. Very cool to see. You go look, you continue to just go down that threshold. Nvidia had already been beaten down. It had already been beaten down prior to that big pullback. And so it made a monstrous rally out of it. And now it's $4 trillion company, the biggest company in the entire world. Publicly traded, of course. I'm sure there's bigger companies out there, but you found it at a $9 million market cap. God damn, too much at once. That's crazy. Ex-CEO of Google is in it heavy. Bullish. That's actually a nuts stat to have. That's really crazy, actually. I don't think Dynex has that good return coming as other projects. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree, Beagle. But I respect the opinion. There was... Oh, I was going to pull up... Which one? Which one was it? It was the quantum... It was quantum related, and they are in the Microsoft Accelerator program. I think they're in my microcap watch list. Yeah, not Defy Hellman. Doesn't look like the greatest of setups, but it didn't come back down to touch. It hasn't pumped yet. They're in the Microsoft Accelerator program for quantum computing, for quantum resistance, and they're only $352,000 market cap. So potential room to grow, yes. You go look at Catalyst. You guys know I'm incredibly bullish on these. A good chunk of my money is in Catalyst coins. Explore the projects, no. These guys, these suckers. These guys are not moving yet, but they will. They absolutely will. They have a lot of room to go. These market caps are disgustingly tiny. So you see a little flip, risk on environment, which we are going into, and we'll go into some of those stats in a moment. You see risk on, you see a $450,000 market cap go to 50 million pretty damn quick. Let's go through some of the things I wanted to talk about because there were a couple cool things. Number one is the White House is out here bull posting the market. You get Donald Trump bull posting it, which is not that surprising, but the official White House account on X is posting memes about how green the market is, which is crazy. That's crazy, crazy environment to be in. You go look and you see stats like this, which make you a little bit concerned, obviously, but you see that the stock market has a record debt. The most people, as a function of dollars, not percents, so take it with a grain of salt, but as a function of dollars, we've never had this much leverage in the stock market ever. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but everyone's betting up. on the flip side of that, you go look at the stock market's fear and greed index, or no, what is it? It's bullish, bearish, metric, stock. Oh my God. There was, not that. This. We just had, okay, I have not talked about this on the markets before, but it's good to look at it, okay? The historical average is that you'll see 37% of market participants be bullish, you'll see 31% be bearish, and you'll see 31.5% be neutral. So roughly 30, right? Everyone's kind of split evenly between bullish, bearish, and neutral, with an overall majority being slightly more bullish than the other two, which makes sense because the market goes up with time. If you look at the numbers for the last like several months of readings, this is only a couple weeks of it, but if you go back through history and look at this, we just had one of the longest stretches in modern history for the stock market where a majority of market participants were bearish. And now what happened? The overall market flipped to a bull market. Everything's breaking out. Bitcoin almost tapped $120,000 per coin. The NASDAQ up at 22,800. S&P 500 hitting almost 6,300. The this survey, the AAII Investor Sentiment Survey, has now flipped to be bullish. I think we have several months of bullish sentiment readings in the market coming for us because of how bearish the market has been over the last 7, 8, 9 months. The market's been, since Trump got in office, the market has been extraordinarily pessimistic. And so that has to flip and average out to a good median here. Meaning I think that we're going to potentially see a little bit of a pullback here, but then really rip forward going into the end of the year. Q3 and Q4 are about to be very fun times in the market. Let's not launch any more projects from the White House, please. I know. Please, God, no. But speaking on that, you go look at Trump coin. Trump coin's coming back to life a little bit here, guys. The official Trump coin, $2 billion market cap, up 6% on the day. And Trump's coin's starting to come to life a little bit here. It's got a long way to go. Don't make any mistakes here. This was the biggest rug pull in history, but not really. But it's starting to come back to life a little bit, guys. So that's going to bring a lot of attention back. I'm starting to see the excitement come back in the market, which is good. And I know you guys know that, and I feel like I'm just repeating the same thought over and over again. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, things you want to pull up, otherwise I'm going to read through some of the DeSci news right now. First up, we have Bio Protocol. We're redesigning a new way to get rewarded for supporting the bio ecosystem. A reimagining of how scientific knowledge is incentivized. Sneak peek of what is coming. So it looks like they're trying to get into the info-sci part of the economy here with some bio XP points. So how to earn bio XP. Lock your bio, yap about Bio Protocol on X, participate in launches. So it seems like bio is going to adapt to the market and potentially end up partnering with some places like Kaito to get some more excitement in the market. Bullish news. You go look at Bill. I want you guys to go look at Bill for a moment. You'll see that a lot of the posts that Bill has been making lately have been getting some recognition from Bio and Poseidon and stuff like that. Something went wrong. Now. I don't know where they are. I should have bookmarked them so I could bring them up to you guys. A lot of people tagging projects under here, which is cool. I don't know where it is, but I saw Poseidon DAO reposting something from Bill. I saw Bio engaging with Bill. I've seen Molecule engaging with Bill. I've seen Pump Science engaging with Bill. We're getting a lot of really good momentum for Bill's social metrics and engagement. He's starting to grow followers again. He unfortunately dropped out of the top 10 for endorsed agents on Creator Bid, but I think that can change. We're 50,000 bid away from that, which is only $5,000. So We need to get some more staking in there for Bill, but ultimately he's gaining a lot of momentum in the space of DeSci right now, and he's getting pulled up by a lot of the AI agent stuff. Let's go look at Axon, because I'm seeing here that Zaj said it is up 15% since the start of the live stream. Let's go, baby. Up 24% on the day. We're coming in and testing the resistance here, this downtrend. So if we can get that breakout of Axon above, hopefully we could get a strong decisive push up to like 13 cents or something before getting a little bit of a retest. And then that would be very confident. But you go look at how much of a move it's having. God damn, look at that. Just in a very short period of time here, over the last hour or so, we've seen it up 14%. So clearly the market likes Axon. You go look at DeSci, one of my favorite in the market at this moment. DeSci having very strong push yesterday, bringing us back up to 67 cents per coin. This is unfortunately looking like a head and shoulders, but I don't think it's going to break down to the downside. I think it will continue to break up, but they're just calling a spade, and that looks very much like a head and shoulders. So if it doesn't, I would expect push down, but I do think it will maintain its bullish momentum here. We should write FUD under the bid projects in top 10. I mean, we need to come up with some sort of plan, Beagle. So maybe we'll use the rest of the 15 minutes here. I'll answer any questions that you guys have about Bill, because it is Friday, and Friday is the dev reports on Bill. So any questions you guys have, I will answer happily and give you guys some insight on it. Ultimately, we need to get Bill back in the top 10 for endorsed agents. There's no reason why he's not up there. I see a lot of people talking about other agents and not so much Bill. So maybe I need to partner with Protocol or Kaito or someone and get people talking about Bill out there in the markets. But he's doing good though. Make no mistake, Bill is doing really, really well here. You see multiple thousands of dollars flow into him in the last day or two. And again, more than happy to talk about what we got cooking here with Bill. I had two other things I wanted to bring up on the live stream. One was an article from Genome's. I don't think I'm really going to read through it just because I don't really want to. Let's go check out Genome though. Ooh, 999 quintillion% up. Let's go. Genome, not yet had the pump yet. So this is one of those ones that I do believe will pump, but is lagging behind some of the rest of the market participants. So rotate in after some of the pumping has already happened. And I posted last night some of my thoughts on what I want to see in the market. Obviously, I've already said it on this live stream, but I think that Bitcoin here is going to kind of come into some resistance here in the 120 to 130 area. So it might look like this, consolidate for a minute before breaking out again. That I think will be a very natural and healthy thing to take place. And I believe that during that period of consolidation here, we'll see some of the rest of the market catch up a little bit to Bitcoin. Ethereum, I really, really, really want to see Ethereum break and hold above 333 here for a continuous momentum play for Ethereum. We've broken above all of the moving averages on the daily time frame here, but if you take a zoom out approach here for a moment and draw a line of support / resistance, you'll see that we are coming into a pretty large resistance uptrend. And I believe we will break out above it, but we need to get that consolidation to take place a good chunk above, right? So I'd like to see Ethereum here break above decisively, come down, retest for a week or two, and then continue the movement higher to get up to that $4,000 area. This is going to be quick moves though, guys. Very quick moves in the market. Default posted about VaultFi. I was in the room when they were making this project literally fake and made up APY that Gpot was supposed to save them with real revenue. I mean, I can break down VaultFi if you guys want. The entire idea behind it. I was on the call at like 2 in the morning when we actually came up with the entire idea for it. And I'm sure they've evolved it and changed it a bit. But if you guys want, I can break down the entire idea and vision behind VaultFi as I saw it when it initially was created. I gotta put those disclaimers out there. I gotta call Lucas today. Oh, here we go. Aerodrome. Research coin is now on Aerodrome. So you can buy it with wrapped Ethereum and USDC. Nice to see it. I think people could have purchased regardless if they really wanted to, but Research Coin now has another liquidity pool out there, so they're continuing to expand and cater to the market. How can TIG prevent indefinite monopolies and consequently dystopia? Love it. Welcome to the open team. The future of finance is on chain. We're welcoming the open leadership team to help us build it faster, more transparent, and yada yada. Deposit, lend, borrow, trade, leverage, loop, everything in DeFi as perps. That's crazy. They're on the testnet live, and Coinbase is partnering with a testnet for DeFi right as they open up everything to the base ecosystem. Guys, Ethereum's gonna be on the monster rally. I think everyone's gonna have to rewrite their expectations for ETH, especially with how crazy bad it's been performing. I think everyone's gonna have to rewrite kind of their expectations for Ethereum. Coinbase is allowing for everyone on the platform to trade base tokens naturally in their platform. All DEX tokens on base. That means Bill, that means Psy, that means Axon, that means Research Coin, that means all of them. That means Dynex. All of them. Well, Dynex is on Ethereum, but they talked about going on base, but I don't know if they're actually going to, right? Huge. Now they're opening up DeFi, right? Huge. All of the stablecoin legislation, all of that money that's going into stablecoins right now. 50%, over 50% of all settlements of stablecoins happen on Ethereum or an ETH L2. We saw a lot of big hedge fund money people talking about how they want Ethereum. We're seeing BlackRock buy more of Ethereum now than they have been of Bitcoin. And we saw the Bitcoin ETF, IBIT from BlackRock, just became the quickest ETF ever to have $80 billion in assets under management. That's outstanding. It's been the #1 fee generating, revenue generating ETF for BlackRock in the history of BlackRock, and it's only been around for about a year. Now they're coming out with the Ethereum one, and everyone wants in on the Ethereum one. This Ethereum rip is happening live right now and is going to continue for quite some time. ETH divided by Bitcoin's coming into a little bit of headwind here, so potentially we'll see a little bit of a dip, but who knows? Honestly, we might just see it continue to blast up through this dip period. I would love to see it this weekend potentially blast through that, but we're seeing some crazy momentum shift back into Ethereum, which should spur a good chunk of the next bull run, right? We're seeing dominance. It's all the way back down to the 100-day moving average. If we can break below this, like we have the last two moving averages, I think we get a quick drop down to 62% dominance. And as everything is rallying, as everything is going crazy, I think that takes place as Bitcoin heads into the $120,000 area, meaning Ethereum likely goes up into the $3,500, $3,700 area, right? We see a lot of good momentum. Now, what happens after that, I don't know, but I think that we're setting up for a really, really fun time. We do need Solana to run. Solana's not having as much strength here. I think, is it today or tomorrow? I think tomorrow, right? The Pump Fund token gets launched. So we'll see what kind of attention that brings to the Solana ecosystem. We do need to see Solana push back up above $200. It's not showing as much strength as some of the other altcoins out there, but nonetheless, it is one of the biggest in the industry. So it is going to have a good chunk of money circling into it. Let's see what the top performers in all of crypto are looking like. Look at that trading volume. Holy crap. We're seeing Bitcoin, obviously, Ethereum, XRP up 11%. That's going to bring a lot of noobs and retail into the market. People love a good XRP story. So the higher XRP pumps, the more people enter into it, right? You see Tether just staying stable, which is beautiful. You see BNB up 2.7, Solana up 2.5. We see Dogecoin up 10%. Again, retail money, noobs coming into the space. People are going to love that. Tron, Lido, Cardano up 14%. Love to see it. Hyperliquid up 8%. So that's a lot of just the KOLs getting money again. The KOLs are probably going to get super active pretty shortly if they haven't already. I saw Not Thread Guy or whatever talking a shit ton. Stellar Lumens are moving. That's cool. We're seeing actually a repeat. H-bar going crazy. I did a live stream a long time ago actually, about like H-bar and Stellar Lumens and XRP going crazy, and that preceded a big pump in the rest of the market. So the same story is repeating as it has multiple times. Litecoin not yet at the sell signal area, which means we have a lot of room to go. How are you, man? I'm doing good, DTJ775. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Nobody had any questions about Bill, so I guess you guys are just very happy with all the progress and all of everything, right? You see ICP pushing a little bit, not as exciting as I hoped. Aptos up 7%, Near up 7.7%. Official Trump coin. C up 21%. That's a good one to see moving. Quant up 2%, not much. I got an eyelash. Oh, I got 3 eyelashes. Everything's just looking good, guys. Everything's just looking good. Keep your portfolios tight. Tight. Thoughts on DNA? DNA. DNA's chart, I believe, has been really broken down. Last time I checked it, they've been suffering quite dramatically. I think that the team is relentless and they're doing really good in pushing the product forward and in pushing their connectivity forward in the space. I've spoken to them many times. The team over there is very strong and solid. The token doesn't care right now. So I would wait on this one for me personally, obviously for me personally, because I'm the one saying it, but I would wait and kind of rotate some money into it after it's done something like that, right? Because I think that, believe it or not, the risk to reward will be better on this one at a higher price. And I think that it is probably going to push pretty aggressively here, but I'm not in a rush to get it yet, just because the chart has not finished the drop. Now, it might have. Yesterday might have been the last day that it fell. And in that case, anyone holding on to it, hell yeah. But with that being said, I think that some of the other projects are already ripping. And so I'm hanging on tight to what I have, and I will potentially buy more if it hasn't gotten to new all-time highs yet, and I'm already taking profits on other things, right? I continuously circle back to bid because I do think that bid's going to be one of those make or break it coins for a lot of people. This is something that I see going to several dollars, and it's already got the strength in the chart to prove it. So this thing gets moving. It's going to move really, really quickly. Omen Network, was anyone in it? Had a 200% move. Hell yeah. What are your price targets, if you don't mind me asking? I never mind you asking, Fuel. And thank you for joining the live stream. I don't think I've seen your name here before, so welcome. I hear something moving around upstairs, and it's weird because I'm home alone right now. So it might be cats jumping, or it might be Sophie, because Sophie's not digging a hole in here. So I don't think she's in here right now. Yeah, she's not. So it's probably Sophie, but I definitely hear footsteps going around upstairs. Price targets on DNA. Good question. It's a $2.8 million market cap. I think that all of DeSci is going to print new highs. Okay? That's what I believe. So Mudo, being part of DeSci, would put it up at 10 cents. I think that we will see DeSci print new all-time highs, meaning you get something like a 20x from here, right? No, it'd be like a 40x or something, 60x. 6,000%. I see Mudo coming back to all-time highs. I do. Now, I don't plan on riding that the entirety of the way up, and I would personally not be buying any until it's up 500%. And I know that sounds ludicrous, that sounds silly, but that's the way I'm kind of viewing it in this exact moment. My thesis might change and the market can change sentiment really quickly, but you go look at it doing something like this, okay? And I'm going to invert this. I'm just grabbing that for funsies here. Probably not with those drops, but something like this would have to take place. I don't think it's going to have those drops, so I don't just ignore these two little spikes downwards. But I think it's going to pop up, kind of stagnate for a little bit, then pop up again and stagnate. And if I can see that, if I can see the higher highs and higher lows, that's when I would get into it, right? You think Noble gets new all-time high? I knew someone was going to bring that up. I am going to stake my claim here and stay that I do believe all of DeSci will hit new all-time highs. So we're at a $536,000 market cap for Noble. I do believe that we'll see everything go back up to those all-time highs, which is 13,000% from here. Now, am I going to hold the entire time? Probably, but do I think that it's not going to hit some resistance? Would I be unsatisfied if it only went up to 2,000% to the previous high here? No, I would not be sad on that moment. But yeah, this chart, the Noble's been something that's really just been difficult for me because I'm so intertwined with it that I feel the conviction for Noble in my core. It's difficult for me. I've already round tripped over $1 million in this thing, so I'd be happy to do it again. What the fuck, Patrick? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because of the hack and because of sentiment got destroyed. But I do think this has good potential to bring back to all-time highs. I do. It's going to be a rocky road, and it would be the craziest cook in history of DeSci, but been getting murked on my Noble bag. I believe it. I know, man. That's bold to say about Noble. All of DeSci hits all-time high minus Noble. No. If everything is hitting all-time highs, everything's going to hit all-time highs. And that's a quote that you can take to bank. If everything hits all-time highs, everything hits all-time highs. But Noble and Lake, I know, both of them, very, very large positions in my portfolio, and both of them getting hurt drastically. Lake, not yet moving. Lake kind of being like an oscillator. So oscillator meaning it just goes up and down in this range. I think it will go back up here. It's $1.6 million market cap. So getting this thing up to a $200 million market cap, not that crazy. 5,000% gains is a lot though. We're gonna have to wait and see, okay? We're gonna have to play it by ear, day by day, right? The ultimate theory here is that we get to see Ethereum putting in new all-time highs, right? Ethereum above $5,000 and holding for a bit. And then we get to see our DeSci bags really rip and really start moving, right? The Fed's starting to cut rates soon again. They've been talking about it. Most of the Fed members agree with it. We saw true inflation hitting all-time lows again for at least the last 5 years or so. Things are looking really good in the overall market for this bullish momentum to continue. And so if the bullish momentum does continue and we are in an everything rally where even things like the Russell are moving, the Russell being the small cap stocks in the stock market, if everything is pushing to new all-time highs and really moving, the Russell hasn't hit considerable all-time highs since February of 21, but it's got that strong momentum right now and things are looking like they're going to actually start hitting all-time highs. If everything is pushing, then yes, DeSci hits all-time highs, all of it. So we'll see. Help Delroy push it. I know. I think, so that's part of the thesis why I'm in things like protocol, because the way that things are being pushed right now are through social-fi narratives like protocol, like Kaito, like cookies.fun. All of those types of social information platforms are what's driving a lot of the KOL rounds in the market right now. A lot of the marketing efforts are done in a way that everyone can be rewarded in it, right? It's a social marketing platforms. And so I think that if I can get in the ear of most of DeSci and get them to partner with things like KOL and get them to actually push, then we can see some crazy momentum. You just saw KOL scan yesterday go up some ridiculous price. It's still up 1,000% in the last 24 hours, despite being down substantially. You saw Pumped Up Fun said that they acquired SoulScan, and it went from this tiny little like $100,000 market cap up 10,000% in the span of an hour. And then it collapsed, obviously. It's still up 1,000%, but that's where we're at in this market. The money is here again. And you guys have been waiting patiently for this type of returns to come back to the market, and they're here. It's happening right now. And we just entered into this zone of banana. We just entered into this. So don't get carried away. Don't get liquidated out of the market. Don't be afraid to deploy capital in things that are already up, right? If you saw Bitcoin break to all-time highs at 112 and you said it's too late to buy, and then it pushed to 117, you missed out on money. You can buy things as they pump. You just need to be careful with it, right? Have good strategy. If you're in something and you've been in it for an egregious amount of time, right? When it goes up 1,000%, take your initials out of it, okay? If you want to, whatever. If you see something that you've been holding on to for months, if not years, and it goes up 1,000%, take your initials out and play with house money. That's a good rule of thumb to have. If you are hesitant to be in something and it keeps you up at night, take some money out. If you are getting FOMO about something, put a couple dollars in it. It eases the FOMO, and then you can think rationally. Remember that crypto tends to peak out at the end of this year. In the 4-year cycles, it tends to do that. Will it happen again? Nobody really knows. I believe it will, but we still have a far cry from the basketball hoop. So I think we still have a lot of time left in this cycle. Don't get carried away, and also don't get discouraged, guys. Like, be here, be present. It is the time. There was something else I was going to say that was really, I thought was going to be good and thought-provoking, intriguing for you guys, but I see we have some exciting members back in the live stream. Vibra Finance is back. W for Bill. W indeed. He's up 20% today. David Curry said, me and Vibra were shilling Bill last night on a YouTube live. Let's go. You think Psy can hit $10 this cycle? I do. I do indeed. Yes, sir, David. I'll be shilling it hard tonight at 10 p.m. Let's go. I'm going to try and tune in. I'll try and tune in as best I can. We saw, like, I have DMs on X. I'm not going to share my DMs per se, but I have DMs from Whale AI. Remember when Whale AI made the post about Bill? I was talking to him, and he bought into Bill, right? Because he saw a bunch of whale wallets start purchasing Bill. And he's really good with his timing and stuff. Like, it's Whale AI is an account that's using AI to track whale wallets. And we saw him buy Bill a little while ago because a bunch of whales got into Bill. So I would assume that we're going to see some movement on Bill. Here we go. Bullish Whale AI. He's got a really good track record, so we'll see. I gotta respond to him. I haven't responded to him in a minute. Okay, I don't know where his post is about it, but you guys saw him retweet something about Bill, so. I could just search it, but I feel like I'm getting closer and closer. There it is. Nope. Will AI adding Bill to its long-term vault? AI agent accelerating the DeSci revolution created on CreatorBid, developed by this investor. Hold deflationary WHAI to participate in our investment vault and use our advanced gem hunting tools. So he said that he saw a bunch of whales moving in, so they pulled the trigger and purchased a bunch of Bill, and that was back in the middle of June, so 3 or 4 weeks ago. Thank you, need to go. W Beagle. I'll tag you in the X post later. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. He knows something. He knows something. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions for me? Anything you guys are dying to ask? Anything you guys really want to know the answer to or my opinion on? I feel like I keep having things I want to bring up, but then I keep forgetting about them. Let's check out Trueflation here. US inflation falling off a cliff here, all the way down to 1.6. If you kind of take this average over the last year, you'll likely see that we've been sitting somewhere around 2.2 average inflation. But if you take the average over this year, from January till now, you'll see we're probably sitting around 1.8, 1.9. So inflation is down dramatically. The job market is getting slightly weaker, but stabilizing at a pretty high employment rate. 4 point something unemployment rate, which is pretty good. That's maximum employment. So both mandates here by the Fed are indicating that we're in a very strong economy for the time being. Consumer debt, nation debt is at all-time highs, yes, but that's always the case. Welcome in, Wild Africa. Thank you for taking a moment out of your observation of the Great Migration in order to be here live with us. Appreciate that. We go look at the Fed futures, and we're seeing a lot of Fed chair people start to flip up a little bit and say that they are interested in opening the door to conversations about cutting rates, which is very dovish, which is good. Again, we still have the market not pricing in a rate cut for this Fed meeting, but I think the next one in September, they're starting to really price in a rate cut. No, yesterday they were, but today they're back to keeping rates the same a little bit, but 60 to 65% of the market thinks rate cuts in September meeting. That would be pretty cool. I think that the rally, I'll leave you guys on this, okay? I'll leave you guys on this because I think it's an important thing. And so I'm gonna actually go to this one. Yeah. You see my fish tank. I never use this camera lens, but in my genuine opinion of what's going to happen for the rest of the bull market is that from now until we get rate cuts, we have pure up. We go straight up. And so if the rate cut comes in September, I think it is one of those buy the rumor, sell the news events, just like the election was with Trump getting into office, where the idea of Trump was better than actual Trump in office, right? The idea of a rate cut is going to be better than actual rate cuts, in my genuine opinion here. And so what I think is going to end up taking place is that we get the rally all the way until the September 17th rate cut decision, and then we get some sort of a pullback. How high we can go from now until then is anyone's best guess. I think we have a lot more upside from here. And I think that what we're seeing is dominance fall a bit while we're seeing this upside, which means altcoins pushing harder than Bitcoin. I don't know if it'll be a permanent change in the narrative. This is Bitcoin's cycle thanks to the ETFs. You know the market's doing good when Yeti comes in. What's good, Yeti? Welcome, welcome. You're coming in for the final moments of the live stream. We talked about Dynex and the new announcements that they recently had, so welcome in. But it is time for me to depart. Thank you all for being here. Your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing it into. Do not fumble it, guys. We got to do a slam dunk. $150,000 per Bitcoin in the next couple of months. I'll see you in the Monday live stream. Peace.